it's difficult then to get other teams, other riders to ride.
Oh, Aurélien Paris-Peintre. That little flick of the elbow earlier on. Yeah. 26 seconds behind. So
maybe Carlos can attack again. Yeah, he
Carlos
looks good. Yeah.
Yeah, Carlos Rodriguez looking very good indeed. And consider just gradually open up this distance on the third place rider on the road. And Carlos, apart from a couple of little glances behind, hasn't actually asked for any assistance. There was a little bit of a flick of the elbow, maybe expecting Riccitello to come through.
Yeah.
But Rodriguez just looks a little bit more comfortable, just looks like he might have a little bit left under the hood, as Riccitello, slightly more of a ragged style, looks to be a little bit more deeper into his limit.
I think, and I'm not sure, I think Riccitello's got a bit more punch about him. But, like you say, Carlos Rodriguez looks really relaxed and the stronger of the two, so it's really going to be interesting what happens, whether Carlos accelerates again in this final 2K or he decides to just continue to roll and try to do him in the sprint.
Yeah, we shall see. Well, it's an Ineos Grenadier and a decathlon, and then another Ineos Grenadier and a decathlon, so both of these teams have caused a lot of destruction today. Decathlon riding before the climb itself, even getting involved in trying to split things in the crosswinds. 12 seconds it is as we continue to climb higher and higher. The highest point of the day at the top is around 1,500 meters above sea level. Paris-Peintre looks round. Difficult situation, because this isn't something you always see, is it? When quite often we see riders who have been riding for a teammate, they'll swing off and then capitulate because it's generally a Grand Tour. But in a stage like this, there's a lot up for grabs, isn't there? So they've got to really think about what they're doing behind, because neither rider behind needs to ride, but also you're looking at third place on the podium and time bonuses. So it's quite interesting tactically between Paris-Peintre and Rodriguez behind here, isn't it? And also they don't let anybody else come up from behind either.
No, exactly that. It's who's going to pull behind? They're both going to help each other. It's a strange dynamic, yeah.
So 16 seconds it is for Carlos Rodriguez of the Ineos Grenadiers. Matthew Riccitello, the American, in his slipstream. Both two really...
He's saying he can't ride because his teammate's behind.
Yeah. That is interesting, because Rodriguez has got a teammate behind as well. Both have the same argument. So Rodriguez could say, well, I'm not going to ride either. But I tell you what they don't want to bring back into the mix is Paris-Peintre. If they back off too much, it can, and the other two get back in and it is completely neutralised, it could get to be more of a tactical, punchy finish than one where you're actually putting somebody fully into the red. That's what they've got to be very, very aware of. Yeah. And because of this headwind finish here, Steve, it looks like Rodriguez has just backed it off a little bit, and the gap is coming down 12 seconds now. Yeah,
it's a shame he has to. I reckon advantage with Rivera at the moment. He has got a punch on him at the finish.
He has. Well, fascinating scenes here on the Queen stage of the Tour de la Provence. Two riders from Ineos Grenadiers at the head of affairs, two riders from Decathlon CMA CGM at the head of affairs. It's getting pretty tactical here. Carlos Rodriguez, after opening things up and attacking sort of 3 or 4 kilometers ago, now has a very dangerous passenger in tow. Matthew Riccitello has said he's not working, he's got a teammate behind. So Rodriguez has got to really think about how he rides this one. He wants to keep a decent pace and make sure he doesn't knock it off too much that Riccitello's super fresh, but riding into a headwind on this climb, he's going to be using a little bit more energy, or actually a fair bit more energy than Riccitello. And now Paris-Peintre is trying to get back in contact.
See Carlos having a chat there on the radio, so he is
what do I do? What do I do?
Yeah, he's having a chat.
Now, I think it's fair to say, Steve, if we had no wind today, or it was a tailwind, this would be completely different, wouldn't it? But with this wind, it completely changes the way you ride. Okay, you can attack, but you need to open up a gap. It's not the same as having somebody in your slipstream, or when there's a very different style of racing here, and it's making it a little bit nervous.
Yeah, it's kind of shutting the race down, isn't it? If you go back to that 3K to go, when there was that gap between these two, Riccitello and Carlos Rodriguez, with tailwind, you perhaps would have expected it'd be much harder for Riccitello to get back into that wheel, but with a headwind, he's always got a chance. And then once you get there, yeah, he's going to save a lot of energy in the wheel. It's almost it's almost a bit negative at the moment.
It is indeed. Well, 7 seconds to go. We're under 1 kilometer to go now on stage 2, the Queen stage of the Tour de la Provence. For Gallagher to Station de la Loire, it's getting very tactical at the head of affairs. Carlos Rodriguez of Spain on the left-hand side for the Ineos Grenadiers, as the wind and the helicopter whips up this snow. Looks like they're riding into a blizzard. Stark sunshine up here as well. Riccatello like a coiled spring, but Aurélien Paris-Pantre is dragging Brandon Rivera back into the fray as well. Remember, Aurélien Paris-Pantre won in the Giro d'Italia a couple of years. It was in a sprint as well, so he's a rider with punch. Everybody here has got a pretty decent acceleration on them. 2 seconds is the gap. Well, this is fascinating stuff. 700 metres to go, and this is far more tactical than I thought.
Can't pick a winner. I don't know who's going to...
Luckily, I'm not going to ask you to pick a winner. I'm not going to ask you to gamble on this one, Steve.
I do think Brandon Rivera's got probably the best punch out of all these guys, but he's still 2 seconds behind, and he looks like he's on his knees, so maybe Riccatello's your man.
Well, the helicopter is whipping up this surface snow into this strange blizzard, and the riders have got to be aware of that. If they get out of the saddle with 500 metres to go and make an acceleration with snow in the back wheel, they've got to be very cautious. But Rodriguez on the drops. Riccatello looks around, who sees his teammate on the front. Paris-Pantre looks around at the man in his slipstream, Carlos. Well, and there's another rider coming into the mix as well. Just this is going to be an absolutely fascinating finish. The fact they've eased off a little bit means another rider is coming into the mix. I think it's going to be too little too late for him. But Riccatello now out of the saddle, 300 metres to go. I think it's too late for Paris-Pantre and Rivera, but Riccatello like a coiled spring now, Steve.
Here we go. They're going to bend round to the right and then finally round to the left in that last 100 metres, and the finish line is going to be there.
Who is going to take stage 2 of the Tour de la Provence? We're at the top now, or near the top of the Station de la Loire. We've only got 200 metres to go, and it's Mathieu Riccatello who opens it up. It's early. A real punch. But Rodriguez is on the wheel. Looks like Riccatello has got the advantage now. Can the Spaniard do anything about it? The road is going to unwind here. It looks like it's Riccatello who's going to take the win here, or is it Rodriguez? We've got this wet little right-hander, really sketchy little chicane as we come into the finish. Oh, it's going to be so tight on the line. Riccatello just takes it, I think. We'll have to get confirmation in the photo finish, but I think Mathieu Riccatello of Decathlon CMA CGM takes the win ahead of Carlos Rodriguez. Brandon Rivera secures 3rd for the Ineos Grenadiers, just ahead of Aurélien Paris-Pantre. Well, that was close, but I do think, subject to confirmation, that the young American has taken his first win in his new team. Superb stuff for Mathieu Riccatello.
He went early, didn't he? When with 200 to go, but those bends, he looked like he was unsure which way the finish was, which way the deviation for the cars was, but they made it in. And then Carlos Rodriguez, clearly the strongest man on the day, he was always coming back, but he just sort of ran out of road there in that last 10 metres.
Yep, that really was, well, a very tactical finish there, but I think in the end it was maybe by a tyre's width. They almost celebrated too early, but it looked like, well, he knows he's won there. Julien Bernard just